My best quality is my unwavering allegiance to myself. I know who I am. If you don't or you can't figure it out, my best quality is my unwavering allegiance to myself. I know who I am. If you don't or you can't figure it out,
hello. Sorry about the lateness. It's been wacky one around here. Hey, everybody. So, what's going on? Good afternoon. I almost said good morning. Oh, my Lord. It's rainy and gross here. Let's see. Hi, everybody. I'm going to say hello, and then we're just going to crack on with it because I've got some housekeeping, I've got some updates, and I've got some new information for y'all's. Been out here journalisming. Importantly, I do want to say that in the description of this particular live stream, there are a ton of statutes, and it's the Nevada code, but it's also the Nevada administrative code as well, that I'm going to be referencing a little bit. I am not a lawyer. I do not claim to be one. Everybody has the right to due process, and allegations are simply that. That said, so please feel free, and I'm going to show you some of this stuff as we go through and talk about some of the new information. So let's see here. So hello, CH. Hi. This normal Idaho mom. Hello. Kelly Kill. Did you get trapped somewhere? Finished yesterday. How do you feel like it went? Two birds. Hello. Sips of coffee. Hello. Oh. Excited. Sips of coffee says, I'm very excited for this, kid. Oh, keep your expectations low, please. Thank you, CH. Yes. Sorry. Always Street says, Andy, hi, we'll be multitasking. Lord, same. I mean, I multitask like I'm multitasking right now. So you're stuck in a Greyhound? I don't even want to know. Hey, just Jamie. Oh, is that a little tiny dog? Okay, I'm going to make another announcement that's important. Please put your pets on the community page because I've been doing pets of the week, and I think we all need colon blow for the soul in these dark times. But and then I put together pet of the week at the end of the week. So cute puppies, I don't care what it is. I mean, snakes, whatever. It's fine. Hi, unindicted. How are you? To HMS Gen X lady. Hi. Had to go to New York, but where in New York? Boston, you say. I've got some updates about Boston. Hang on, I got to make a note about that, about the Clancy trial. Sorry. I'm also, side note, we're going to get to a presentation in a hot second, but I'm also in like figuring out if I want to do a dissertation or not. So I've been doing way too much reading. Let's see who else came in. Hi, random old lady. Same. Same. Hi, Brenda. How are you? Kelly Kill. I am Grizzly. Hello. Hi, Betty Boop. Hi, everyone. Oh, no. What happened in Wisconsin? Brenda K. Oh, no. I saw that. Oh, God. I'm so sorry. So, Brenda K., everyone, please pray for the people in Wisconsin who were affected by EF3 tornado on Monday. I live in North Carolina, but my entire family, many friends live in the area. Brenda K. And Brenda, I grew up in Iowa, and there's a horrific F3 in 20 that took the. I've been there, and fortunately, have not been touched by it, but that's horrible. I've just seen some of it. So let's see. We've got who else I want to say hi to. So I think I've gotten. Oh, hi, Maury. I should probably just get going. Ahoy! Bonjour. I say ahoy. Ahoy. So here's the scuttlebutts. So let me do some housekeeping. First of all, I don't know, what week is it? Last week or the week before that or this week? I don't know. I talked to Christina and I did a live stream with her, and she, at the end of it, talking about the lawsuit that Lauren and all those folks behind the scenes brought against her, she said, and I was surprised, I think everybody else might have been as well, that the day of the hearing, the one and only hearing, there was, sorry, I'm going to try to not look at, oh God, Parkersburg. Sorry, I just saw Parkersburg. Yeah, my daughter was in high school then. Sorry. I'm just going to shout out to my Iowa and Midwest people, because Parkersburg got blown off the map. And my daughter was a senior in high school that year and her basketball team went over to help. And so Midwest can also be Midbest. So anyway, so Christina said that, that Lauren's attorney made a deal, or tried to make a deal, that was essentially Christina needed to remove not only the TikToks from her little account that did address Lauren without naming her, and her art channel, right? Because remember, she had an art channel too. Thank you very much, CH. I know you're on the links. And the part that was kind of shocking, that made sense. The part that was kind of shocking to me was the part where she said that it was essentially, Lauren said through her counsel, look, take this deal, or essentially, I'm just going to yap about it. I'm going to yap about it. And I was able to corroborate this, and I'm not going to tell you who I spoke with, but I spoke with two separate people and was able to corroborate this. There were plenty of people there. I mean, we got ballet flats. We got a bunch of people that were actually there, but I did want to call and make a few calls and make sure that I got that correct. And yes, that is true. It was essentially a quid pro quo. So it wasn't just, get rid of all your stuff, and not kind of like play nice in the sandbox. Basically, and this part of my speculation, but that was like the floodgates opening, right? For that 9-hour live. So I did corroborate that. So that to me is a huge deal. And that explains a hell of a lot. And the second thing is that, so the second thing is, we're going to get into the other day when I was going through, it was like an impromptu live where I came across a public document that had a very discreet, and it was the Nevada, and I always get this wrong, the Nevada Department, hang on a second. I always forget the acronym for this. Board of Psychological Examiners, and it's NB PE. Okay. So the Nevada Board of Psychiatric Psychological Examiners. Damn it. Sorry. I'm trying to do too many things. And I came across this very discreet complaint that was against a psychologist and a podcaster. So I see Kresha is in the chat. Hi. Yes. So this is where I do my little speech about what journalism actually is. Journalism differs from showing receipts. Okay. I don't do that. And so I protect sources. So what happened was after that live, I was contacted, and I've actually been contacted by quite a few people. And that is actually the pending complaint against John Matthias. Now, I am not able to elaborate on all of the sort of key issues that were raised in what I understand was a rather thorough complaint. And it, and again, I was able to corroborate this. And so that's pending. So what I can do is talk about what the general buckets of I mean, it's sort of like law, but it's like the administrative code that provides for remedies in these situations, and talk a little bit about that. But that absolutely is, that absolutely is, according to my source, which I have vetted, that is about him. And so when we looked at the other day, and I think kind of, and not for nothing, we kind of knew there was kind of things out in the zeitgeist, right? Is that we had all kind of speculated on these things, or people had speculated on these things. But I was struck when I found that, and let me see actually if I can find that. Actually, who cares, right? I mean, well, no, I do. I care. I'm like making all these by fiat declarations by fiat. Let me pull it up really quickly, and then we'll get to my little presentation, if you will. But I mean, it's all what I can tell you is generally everything that we've all been saying for quite a while about Matthias bloviating, and that's my term, bloviating, is has made its way into this, like I said, rather robust complaint. So let me pull up what exactly that looks like. Not the complaint. I don't have that. So let's just get clear. I have other shit that I'm not going to share. But okay. You guys are just going to have to be patient with me. I mean, you always are. So what am I talking about? Okay. I'm going to make sure that I get this. I come correct with this. Lord. What else is going on? Hang on. Share my screen. Here we go. So I went into this the other day. Let me pull it up on the yard. So what do we got here? So this is how, and again, unless it's when it's public information, I try to share that. Like I said, in the description, there's a pretty exhaustive list of the statute and administrative practices, or the administrative citations that are considered, from what I can gather. And again, not a lawyer, just a nerd, are all in the description. So I'm trying to be very clear here. So what we can see here is that this is just, again, public information. All of this is easily findable. And if you go into meetings, I walked everybody through this the other day, a little walkthrough. So we have this one. So this is the 7/10/2026 NBOPE. So that's the Nevada Board of Psychological Examiners meeting. They're all public. Many of these boards have public hearings, much like public meetings at a city council. There are sometimes where they will go into closed session, but this is and there's nothing scheduled on this yet. So when you go into this, you're going to come across a long ass, long ass 119-page document. And what it does is it brings up I'm just going to go through this briefly, the complaints that are pending. And some of the complaints have been, an agreement, there's a consent decree, there's some sort of remedy there's several things. You can lose your license, you can be put on a consent decree, basically that you're going to keep your ass, in line and comply with a certain, basically contractual agreement with the state that you're not going to fuck around. So, they've got complaints, and you see each of these have a number, right? So we got all the way down to, let me see. So these are, and so this is, again, public information. And these are some that are basically considered the date. So this is the one that struck my interest. This is a complaint for misrepresentation and improper conduct as it relates to a podcast. Counsel. Okay, so we know somebody had mentioned that they believed that John had retained counsel. I think it was, I don't know, Bright Breakfast on Reddit or something posted that, a letter or something. Like I said, Reddit terrifies me. I don't go on there. But this is a complaint. Counsel by respondent has requested a response deadline extension, which board counsel approved. A response to the complaint is pending. So basically, again, from what I can gather at this, damn it. Oh, I'm such a moron. You know what? I need somebody to just like run my life. Hang on. Did it not change the screen? You know what? Son of a bitch. Ugh, guys, maybe I should just end the stream now. I won't tell you what I found. Damn it. That pisses me off. Something fierce. Everybody's left by now. See you guys later. I'm kidding. Okay. I don't know why it doesn't just automatically switches out. Okay. Sorry. There it is. Jesus wept. So yeah, looking at public information is not. So yeah, just quickly, this is whatever. You guys will find it. If you don't, whatever. I can't help you. This is a complaint for the misrepresentation of improper conduct as it relates to a podcast. Counsel for a respondent has requested a response deadline extension, which board counsel has approved. A response to the complaint is pending. So that obviously says to me, sorry, I keep getting text messages from all and sundry. So that I talked about that the other night. I went on a 12-minute live or something weird like that and was just like, I don't know, because I check these things every once in a while. And then I started getting contacted from all sorts of people, but I was able to kind of weed through that. So what's the deal, right? What does this mean? And what do I know? And what can I share about the complaint that is pending? What I can share first and foremost is that even though this is an administrative process, there is due process, right? So this crap, which I have opinions about, yeah, and thank you, CH. I have opinions about, and we'll get to them, but the process is a process. The stage it's at right now, from this public information, is that a hearing I don't see anywhere on the calendar it's been set. And there's a pending response as of July the 10th, okay? Which is when this was uploaded. So he has retained counsel. What this says to me from reading the complaints policy, and look, I'm not going to go through all that shit with you all, but you're welcome to. It's pretty easy. And I kind of outlined some of it in my presentation. But it has to get to it has to get by the investigator. There's internal investigation. It goes through the board's attorney. And then it also is supervised by the board chair. And these things are kept private for a reason until it comes to a public hearing. And they're kept private for the adjudicated process to go on. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't ways to talk about this strategically. Let me bring this mother screecher up. Like I said, I'm going to share what I can. And the pertinent God, my eyeballs. Hang on. Now I've got to move some shit around, so stand by. Old bag, actually. Hang on. Oh, Lord. I got a new system that it's not a system, but I mean, it's just a larger screen for when school starts so I can read. I'm trying to get used to it. And it's not going great, as you may or may not be able to tell. So let me pull this up. Maybe, potentially. Yeek. Now the sun's going to come out and bake my ass. All right. Oh, perfect. Teeny tiny. So basically, let me make myself small. Oh, this is not going to work. Let me try. I got to turn off this. Again, maybe I should have not tried it on this one. So I just put together a basic outline of my understanding from reading what was provided to me. You can see it? Okay, great. Everybody can see that? Huzzah. Something to know, a podcast complaint has been in prior minutes. Oh, that's interesting, CH. Thank you. Well, and the funny thing is that actually this complaint covers all the things. And so I think somebody had left me a question like, well, when we were speculating on this turning up in the July documents on the public website, that it said podcast. And what I can gather is that it's just a very, 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 very short description of the overview of pending things that are pending. If you go through that entire document that CH linked to, you will find that there are actually examples of complaints that have been adjudicated, which is actually pretty interesting for, the nerds out there. And, if you're here, you're probably at least a nerd or neurodivergent or both. So let's talk about this then. Okay, so I'm going to just sort of set up what actually a disciplinary powers are, because I think it's important to understand this stuff as we go through it. So, what can the board do, the authority? And so this is just, again, the general overview of where the board gets its power and how that is expressed in the Nevada rules and statutes and also the Nevada, sorry, I'm remembering all these acronyms on the fly, Nevada Administrative Code. So, I mean, technically the board does have authority. Now it doesn't necessarily have, all like criminal and stuff like that. That would be referred out. I mean, obviously they would run through the licensing process, but again, I'm just putting this in here to say, hey, this is bound by procedural fairness, AKA a due process, even for dirtbags. So this is where, people think, like, how can somebody represent somebody? How can a criminal defense lawyer represent somebody, right? For me, this tests my patience, because even John Matthias is, afforded due process in this administrative, and it's not even procedure yet, because, well, it's a procedure. It's not a hearing. It hasn't reached that point, right? Because he has an attorney. And according to, and that's from Brett, we saw that on Reddit. Shit, man, he's out there saying it, don't spraying it in Utah and all these other things. So, which is the right thing to do? Get a lawyer. Get a lawyer, have somebody protect your interests. But anyway, he's owed that. And once a complaint is filed, and one of the other things that's interesting about Nevada, and I don't know if this is true across the United States, but these can be filed anonymously. And I believe that's what the case was here. And I will say that the person who shared this information was concerned, and I believe rightfully so, about retaliation, because these folks, I can make this speculation based on my observation of Lauren and John Matthias and their litigious nature and the way that they really just abuse not just the YouTubes of it all, but the legal system, and just really, make a mess out of everything that they touch, in my opinion. So I don't blame anybody for not wanting to go through, not wanting them to go through the shit that Christina had to go through and spend 60 grand, right? So I get that. So anyway, so the authority comes from basically a couple different statutes, and we'll go through all that bullshit. Yeah, so they could just reprimand, letter of concern, license suspension, temporary remove of practice rights, revocation. So, again, and there's a lot of consent decrees, which I've seen a lot of in the past between like police departments that are shitty. Like New Orleans famously had a consent decree with the DOJ many moons ago when it was just running amok. But they do have that procedure here as well, where you can just, once you know better, do better. I mean, it's a remedy, but I don't know. So everything, that's why I'm saying, what I'm telling you, what any complaint, right? Any complaint, it's not proven. And again, I want to go through this again because we know that these people are litigious as hell. And I'm not doing any of that with them. I'm just not. They can suck it, because suck it. This is all, this is journalism. This is actually what journalism is. So let's just proceed. So again, I have pulled the information that I have pulled from the statutes and regulations. And this is just basically like language that came up when I, it's just all the statutes as of today. So if you go and click on everything in my description, these are going to come up. Okay. So like anything that we talk about here. So here's the authority again, that's given to the licensure board in the state of Nevada. I don't know what it's like for every state, but what I do know is that it's about, this is about Nevada. So, and I think that is important when I think about this kind of stuff. And when I think about what I have witnessed personally, through talking to people who have been subject to the ire, and the lawsuits and the cease and desist and all of those things by Lauren and John Matthias, I like to think of these things from a question and answer standpoint. It's like, am I overreacting here? But again, I come back to, it's like that there are legal boundaries that any licensure, whether you're a plumber, an accountant, I don't care what you are. And so when you're out here freeballing it, like John is, in my opinion, you have to be held to account. And this is that process. And so where John has due process, or any psychologist, or any plumber, or any whatever, if a claim is made against your license, the person who's making the claim, once the response is issued, whatever that determination is, if they need more evidence, then they get to provide that. So although it's not a trial per se, it certainly is an administrative procedure that enforces a law, So, let's see. So one of the big things that we've all sort of been like, this guy's diagnosing people left, right, and center, right? I mean, I don't think that, anybody's doubting that Dr. John Matthias has said, especially in like and I did a bit on this too, the Rob Reiner murders, where he's just spitting stuff out like sociopath, psychopath, blah, 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 all this bullshit. And everybody's like, well, how the hell can he get away with this? Well, you can to a degree, but so there's a professional standards, and then there's what's the informal, evaluation process. And while we know you can't technically do that when you haven't met with somebody, that is actually the truth as well. Bruce says his raw male emotions, free balling. Yes. But now this is an allegation, Bruce. This is just an allegation, but I picture it. And look, this is my allegation based on nothing but just pure speculation and comedy purposes, is that it's like two tennis balls in a wet old gym sock, right? Can you see it? Okay. Yeah. Okay. You're welcome, America. So rendering conclusions about an individual without evaluations raises serious questions under Nevada's regulatory framework. Now, one of the things that can be brought up is whether a person has a license or not. I'm not going through that anymore. The man has a license. So whatever. But I think the thing, the medium does not determine here for us what the standard is. So that professional, and so let me just read from this. The medium does not determine the standard of professional conduct, obligations to follow the license, not the platform. And so the other thing that I will note here is that, one of the things that John and Lauren, and I've actually noticed on their descriptor page, is that recently there's been some sort of legal-esque language that has shown up that is sort of like, well, this is all just opinion and things like that. And I'm like, that's interesting. I had not seen that. Maybe it's been there all along, but also his title shifts, doesn't it? Right? So his title shifts quite regularly. He's a criminal psychologist. He's a criminal forensic psychologist. He's a whatever. And that is a difference. And that difference does actually matter. So we know. And so this is another thing that the board is going to have to adjudicate. It's not up to me. It's up to the standards of the board, and it's up to licensure and whatever they determine, whatever that matrix is that they utilize to determine that when it gets right down to it, when they see his response. So, he represents himself as a clinical psychologist, and there are different standards. He's a psychologist. He's a licensed psychologist. The one thing I will also note here, and you can easily check this out on the licensure board page, is that you can choose what kind of specialty you would like to register for. So if you want to register as a clinical psychologist or as a, whatever your specialty may be, whatever that may be, you can put that on your psychology application. So, and again, it might be different in different states, but all I know is that he comes up as just a regular old psychologist, which again, huzzah, sir. Nobody's whatever. Congratulations, but you're being a jerk, in my opinion. So yeah, so the free speech rights do not exempt, right? Do not exempt according to the, and this is NAC, is the Nevada Administrative Code 641, okay, 641207, is that this conduct is governed by this. And again, I'm not a lawyer, I'm just reading it and speculating. So the platform medium used, whether it's one-on-one, so whether it's like you're sitting down with a client, or if you're pontificating from on high, what this says is that it doesn't exempt them. So no matter who the practitioner is, any public commentary, and again, this is in across whatever legal shit I could pull together, and their own guidelines, which we can go through, but the free speech rights don't trump. Sorry, didn't mean to say that out loud. Exempt licensed professional from their ethical obligations. So that's significant. But we kind of knew that, right? That's not enough. Okay. So the board is going to be able to review any commentary. So what I do know is that there were, references to the YouTube page, that there were very specific references made to the diagnosis from afar, and sort of adding as an addendum, and you can see this throughout Hidden True Crimes commentary, is that he'll tack on, well, I'm not diagnosing at the end. Okay. That he'll just tack that on as like a value add. And the thing is that's not really like psych, like, oh, just kidding. And again, this is just me looking at it. There are plenty, and there's nothing but, I don't know, this board's going to be busy until Lord Almighty, if they get to the point where they review all this. So they can review any public statement. Now, we'll get to the court statements, which we all know about, which I've made sure that to remind everybody that I was able to corroborate that Lauren wanted a quid pro quo with Christina, and that the inference can be that the 9-hour live was her pound of flesh because she saw which way the wind was blowing. Okay. I'm not telling you anything that we haven't all speculated about. What I am telling you is that I've corroborated it, and Christina's told us herself. And Lauren's welcome to correct me if I'm wrong. She is. I'm not, but she's welcome to. Unlike them, I correct my shit. I don't just pontificate about bullshit. Oh, another interesting thing that I want to note is that, and this is separate and apart from this, but I didn't realize this until I was poking around a little bit. And I don't know how common this is, but I know that being incarcerated doesn't preclude someone filing a complaint or filing a lawsuit against a journalist and a psychologist, or a journalist and a blah, blah, blah. So let's say I am sitting in prison for something, and some psychologist out there, okay, being a psychologist out there, for example, saying that Richard Allen had a domestic violence incident, which he did not. Coming out and just with your full chest and saying, it was a domestic violence incident, y'all. That explains, and that's a particularly egregious one to me. And I've gone on about it. I banged on about it. Okay. Banged on about it. Did a whole whatever. They came out and just straight made this proclamation by fiat. And that's bullshit. That is not what that is not what it said. It's absolutely not. And I actually reached out and said, hey, this is bullshit. And correct the record. Not that she shouldn't have been able to do it. So this is where this team makes no sense to me, right? If my husband was a licensed professional, he's not. He's just cute. And I'm a journalist. You bet your ass I'm going to make sure that what comes out of his mouth that I can provide for him is actually factual. But it's bullshit. And that, in my opinion, in the Richard Allen case, absolutely influenced a lot of people and a lot of perception. And it flipped the switch. So he made, in that bullshit live stream that he did, fact-free, from a news article that didn't even say anything about, and people here who are from that community know what the hell I'm talking about. Okay. That John got up there and was like, oh, out of the blue killers, this fits the parameters, and everybody can go look at it because they just let it all hang out. They'll leave this crap up there until somebody sues them. And again, being incarcerated is not a bar to being able to sue someone for I mean, I don't know what it would be. I'm, again, not a lawyer. Okay. But I think that is something that these idiots don't realize. But they've been unchecked and they've been running amok, and they aren't alone. These are shit, man. These kind of mother scratchers are everywhere. Ugh, yuck. Yeah, ethical risks arise when a professional identity is used to lend authority to unverified claims. And that's the thing. It's like, that's the problem, right? And that's something that I was thinking about when this person contacted me and said, hey, look, I've got information about this, and was hesitant. And I'm like, about giving me the go ahead to share the information that I can. My thought process was like, well, shit, man, this guy's getting ready to go on and diagnose Lindsay Clancy. We know he is. We know he's chomping at the bit. We know Lauren's up there with Gray Bay. Hi, Grayson. How you doing? How you doing, girl? Okay. Hi. How you doing? They're chomping at the bit over this. And that made my blood curdle. Because no. Have all the fucking seats. You've done enough damage with Kresha, Kay, Larry, Colby. I mean, shit, there's people on Facebook pages posting about how they took advantage of them. It's gross. And the thing is that I for one, thank God for licensure oversight. So YouTube doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you are commenting on a platform and that you throw in, I'm not diagnosing, right? And that's why I think it's interesting to contrast it with LawTube with these idiots, because LawTube is like, this is commentary. This is commentary from whatever, and I'm reading the documents. I'm interpreting it through my practice before whatever. They aren't giving anybody legal advice. These people are diagnosing folks from afar. They are not giving certain people due process. Certainly didn't with Richard Allen, and they should be ashamed of themselves. They certainly didn't for Christina, and they need to take that 9-hour live and that horrific, thinking about this now in combination, thinking about this now, the way that Christina said the other day that Lauren was, and I'm paraphrasing, but essentially, take all your shit down, all of it, including your 140,000 subscribers art page. It has nothing to do with anything. Plus, I won't go and blab all over the place about this on my YouTube page. Thinking about how they move through the world, it's just, everybody's like, well, where's the repercussions? I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe there is remedy. But anyway, but it's so, and that 4-hour live was so egregious in particular because who did he diagnose? He diagnosed Christina. He diagnosed ballet flats, crossbody. I mean, who didn't he diagnose in that 4-hour pissing match where he just spat like an angry man baby? Because that's what he is, an angry man baby who hates women very much. He hates them. Everybody gets due process. Okay. Even these idiots, even John, even any, I had a whole go around with Kevin fucking what's his nuts out in Delphi. What is his name? Kevin. I can't. Kevin. Why can't Greenlee? Look, sometimes shit doesn't make sense for oversight, but let's move on, shall we? Ethical risk arises. Ethical risk arises. So one of the things he utilizes when he diagnoses people from afar is this claim that he is a forensic evaluator. And many of us have done a lot of digging into this alleged forensic work that he's done in evaluations. So he built, and again, this is just sort of stepping back. From what I can see, the arc of John's narrative has gone from being run over by a semi-trailer and fighting bison to being a forensic clinical psychologist or whatever he calls himself. The only information that I have found and been able to find and been able to source, and I believe is attached to this complaint, are the two cases that we've gone through before, where basically he got roasted by the judge for essentially making a rounding error or not evaluating, not even completing the evaluation correctly. And I can pull those up too. But again, that's all public record. So on the two occasions that people have been able to sort of find things that he actually did complete an evaluation in, the situation where he did actually do that, they were like, dude, you didn't even do this right. So that actually is, but that's what he's built. So that's what he's built his sort of like castle on. Oh, I've done 500 evaluations. I've done 500 of this. I've done all this amazing stuff. Prove it. You know, now you get a chance to prove that. Yeah, so evaluation requirements under, and there's a special evaluation requirement under in Nevada. You have to actually, I went through all that. I'm not going to go through it again, but I couldn't find any public record of him having taken those classes, then applied to become a forensic examiner. It may exist in the way back, but I couldn't find it. So yeah. So when he's making these claims and resting on his laurels here, where he's saying, I'm a forensic this or that, or when Lauren's getting to barf out these things like, my husband, Dr. John, which she attributes to Trisha for saying, oh, you must call him doctor. He's a criminal psychologist. I mean, they variously refer to themselves as different things. Anyway, I digress. So this one is one that I am curious about, because by the time this was filed, and I believe it was filed first part of this year, we know that the 9-hour live that should be taken down, Grayson, and that 4-hour screed rebuttal, the psychologist, yes. So he did, we know this, we've gone through it, that he diagnosed everybody who wasn't nailed down. He even made criminal recommendations. He made recommendations for criminal referral. I mean, the thing is that shit that's in a document like that, I think that this one's going to be a toss-up because it is a legal document. So most things, as I understand it, entered into that way. And Christina was able to rebut that successfully. Basically like, hey, bud, you don't even go here. Yeah. So, but he did diagnose, like, he rested on that. And so this is that abuse of power structure that really pisses me off, that really must be gotten to the bottom of. no matter what it is, but the amount of power that they have given themselves to be unchecked, running amok, playing in victims' lives, and that's exactly what they're doing. That puts him in a higher stead, which also got me thinking, well, what about the body cam footage then? Right? What about the body cam footage? Because didn't he get on the phone and bluster to the cop about how much of a smart guy he was and all the work he did? What do you think that might get up to? Well, I don't know. I thought about this, and I think I don't know. I don't know, man. So I just pulled up some statute again. Not a lawyer, just an actual investigative journalist who people trust to keep confidences, who's not going to run out. Well, whatever. Anyway, using professional credentials with police. This was the one that I was like, I wonder what the situation, because I think that I'm not sure if he did it with any other police departments, but he certainly did it with the legal system. We know that. And it's interesting now thinking about this. I'm not sure if anybody in the chat knows when Bright Breakfast posted, and this is not, look, this person is not Bright Breakfast. I asked. I was like, are you Bright Breakfast? Whatever. But anyway, so Bright Breakfast, I think, posted something about the NOJOS, which is like the Utah juvenile offender something or other, getting a letter from John's lawyers who he's hired about John being stalked. Does anybody remember that? I do. They're nothing if not telegraphing what they're up to, right? So, I mean, I would be interested to see if this is actually something that's brought up, because, the regulatory concerns, right, is that inappropriately, so it's leveraging that, asserting this professional authority, relevant statutes, and the Nevada, NRS and NAC, the administrative code. And there's the sites. They're all in the description. Ethical limits on asserting professional authority outside clinical contexts. Board may have jurisdiction here. Representing oneself as a licensed psychologist in a non-clinical setting. Interactions with law enforcement could raise, allegedly, questions about the scope of professional authority. And, if you remember from that body cam, he went on to really lay it on thick. Like, I worked with you guys down at Metro, and I worked with, the sex offenders, and all of a sudden he also worked with cybercrime. I'm like, what? When did you do that? As it relates to CSAM. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Huh? So that sounded like it was on the fly. The other thing to note in that body cam footage, and if and when the day ever comes, I know Christina, when she was on here the other day, she said, that she was pretty determined to take some action legally, but I don't know, and I cannot speak to that. But I think that it would be very interesting when that body cam footage, if that body cam footage were to be viewed through that lens, through the lens of if that had any impact on that officer. Does it? I mean, John trying to say, hey, man, I'm one of you. I worked with Metro. Really? Because I didn't find anything, and I called the county attorney. I don't know, man. I did. Clark County. I also searched all the databases through the Attorney General. I don't know. I can't find you, sir. Maybe you're there. Maybe. Yeah. Raises serious questions about the scope. I mean, I would say just knowing what we know about cops that cover for other cops, right? He was sort of leaning into it a little bit. Yeah. So what did that do? How did that influence? Did it influence the cop? And the thing is that I think about this shit and I'm like, if John hadn't said, if he hadn't been on the phone, if Lauren, first of all, if Lauren hadn't made all this shit up, because that's what came out of this. She made everything up. You can read and listen to the trial transcripts, etc. And even if there was anything there, it sure as hell wasn't stalking. Get all the way out. It wasn't. Not even close. But what would happen if at that point, when she's sitting there in her robe, talking to John on the phone, I mean, what if she didn't have John on the phone? Would the cop have walked away? Would the cop have been like, this is crazy? Or did that help push the cop over the edge? Now, look, I think the cop is on the hook here. He should have walked away and said, this is bullshit. But what did that do? What, if anything, did that do? Did it have an impact? And that would be a great question for that officer during any depositions, allegedly. I mean, hypothetical ones, right? I don't know. It smells bad. It smells really bad when you start to think about it at this sort of nitty-gritty level. Anyway, so I don't know. Will that come up? I don't know. But what I do know is, hang on a second. Let me see what else I got here. So let me try to just recap a little bit, because that kind of went off the rails, which, whatever. Welcome to my world. So what we have is I've been able to corroborate that complaint that I came across the other day in the public record, everybody, YouTube public record. Okay. All of it, was about John Matthias, that there is a pending, there's an outstanding response that's due. Okay. There's an outstanding response. So that means, and I don't know, when I was looking through all of the information on the actual, let me see if I can bring this up. Remove that. And let me try to share another screen. When I was going through the complaints policy, but I'll bring this up again. And somebody said that this maybe was mentioned in some sort of previous board meeting. I did not find that, but I don't doubt it. I mean, for it to, again, and I'll talk about this just for briefly, is that for it to get to the stage where there is a response required, it means it has to have passed at least a certain benchmark. And I believe I'm correct in this. And I can look, we can look at the complaints together, the complaint statute together, even though whatever, I don't know if people want to do that or not. But there's these different statutes and this different code, the different administrative codes apply to different, and I think there maybe were 5 very specific, 5 areas that were brought up in the complaint that cover everything that everybody's ever said about John Matthias, diagnosing people, etc. And went a little bit beyond, which was like, whoa. It was robust from from my information. But so some of those discrete buckets, so like whether it's the credentialing, whether it's the misuse of, whatever, each of those buckets that I showed about misusing or potentially misusing credentials to curry favor with cops would fall under a different sort of formulation of and need to reach a certain level of, preponderance of evidence. This is not a beyond the reasonable doubt thing. There is a line item in some of the language in the complaint policy, which again is publicly available, that preponderance can sometimes be enough if there's enough of it. So it's almost like cumulative. Now that's me just saying those words. But let me see. Let me go back to this just for reconnoiter here a little bit. So yeah, this is again public website. This is from the Nevada Board of Psychological Examiners from their July meeting, and this is their board packet, and it's the complaint. This is the number, and I think that this is the date that it was submitted, and it's about a podcaster, but I can tell you that it covered more than just a podcast, and I think it was just cutting to the chase. And if it had been talked about before in previous meetings, then that would make sense that it was abbreviated. But there it is. Everybody can go check this out on the website. Misrepresentation and improper conduct as it relates to a podcast counsel. So this is he's going to respond to it. Got an extension. Not sure how many extensions you can get. But let me pull up the actual complaints policy. Actually, what are you guys doing? Let me see what you guys are doing. Sorry, I've been ignoring you guys. Questions, comments. What does everybody think? Weird, huh? Yeah. So, I mean, I think the two big things that I wanted to discuss today was confirming that Christina, I separately corroborated her statement that Lauren basically wanted to shut her up completely. And, also wanted to say, look, and again, I'm paraphrasing, but basically, if you don't take this deal, again, that's me paraphrasing it, I'm going to run amok, which is already a power discrepancy. Because Christina, if you remember, was a private citizen. She was not a limited public figure. Take down the 9 hour. Just take it down. Take it down. I don't know. Start there. But what else, you guys? What are you guys talking about? Questions, comments? I don't know. I think that, yeah. And I mean, so many are supporting Clancy in the comments. Don't go to HTC. Always pro prosecution. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, anybody that consumes, that was the other thing I want to talk about is the Clancy stuff. Because that's kind of, like I said at the beginning of this shit show, was that, that was my one of my biggest concerns at the moment was that there's a new pot of potential victims here, that unscrupulous journalists out there may seek to wreak havoc on. And I was like, this, first of all, this ain't it. This ain't your trial. Get the fuck out of here. And I have opinions on what she has said and how she has centered herself in the exact middle of how she felt when she heard those 911 calls. Bitch, tell me you're not a trauma-informed journalist. You creepy ass bitch. Sorry. Not sorry. I just, it's reached that point, right? I'm at my zenith with these people. They're so gross. And so that was kind of the push me over the edge to really push this person, say, hey, this is kind of these folks are coming in hot looking to diagnose the Clancy case. Nobody needs it. Nobody. Ugh. Oh, hey, Penny. Hello. Hey, Gucci. Hi. I'm sorry, I've been just kind of screaming on through here. So what am I missing? I have, like, again, I'm sorry. Oh, subtext is late. Well, you missed it. What do you guys think? What's on your minds? Because what I can do, let me see. Let me find this document. One moment, please. Well, tech wizardry. Let me take myself off this camera first because I look like a crazy person more than I usually do. So I have another document that I cannot share, but I want to just kind of take a peek at it. So that's basically the foundational knowledge that we have here, is that Christina was absolutely correct, and I trust and believe, but verify that offer, that asinine offer, was out there, basically quid pro quo. And now this is me just pure speculating, but we do know from the footage from the 9-hour live, which is nothing if not living on as constant fodder to be gone through and combed through with fresh eyes to discover new things, Lauren and Grayson and John, is that body, when she's sitting there on the bed sniffling and, I don't know, having a morning cocktail, I'm not sure what she's doing, that was the day of the hearing where she found out the judge was just like, look, man, here's the deal. We have to be careful about how we use the tools of the law. Yeah, that was on the day. That was that day. So I personally think that kicked it in. So and I think that, and I believe there were a couple other attempts to not go to trial, because who wants to get into a courtroom for a hearing and drop another 40 grand? Then what? Christina's up to 40K, or I'm sorry, 100K. And Lauren's paying some jackass that now has some sort of criminal and whatever. Ugh, birds of a feather, man. Anyway, so to me, that really puts a fine point on a lot of things. And knowing that there was this bullshit offer out there, quid pro quo, even though I have a huge platform, basically restraining, utilizing free speech as a sword rather than a shield, right? I think that's misunderstood, is that it's not a sword. You don't get to utilize it as a sword. It is a shield to speech, in my opinion. So, there's a high bar. There's a high bar in criminal, in civil, all of it. Let's see here. What was I doing? Oh, I got to make myself tiny. Let's see. What else can I show you here? I mean, it's everything that we've known. It's everything that we've known about this situation, and have been wandering around saying, can nothing be done about this? I mean, my hope is that at least, all due process aside, I would think that one would run to the shadows if they had this thing hanging over their head. And why did you need to kick it down the road? Was there something That's the other thing too. And this is, again, me just spitballing and speculating, but his license renews every year. I don't know if that's standard, but I think it's expires in December. Is he just trying to run out the clock? Speculation on my part, based on just my feels. So you guys have questions? I don't know what I can answer or what I can't answer, but if I can, I will. If I can't, suck it. But yeah, I'm pooped. Let's see. What happened? Oh no. Oh God. What did she do? What in the fuck? Okay. What did Lauren do? Wait. Go ahead. Wait. What happened? Somebody drop it. Oh, are you fucking kidding me? So Hypnotizes Lobster says she made a transcript of the 911 call and circulated it. Are you kidding? Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Fig. If she did that, this brings me to the Lindsay Clancy portion. I got my credentials, and I wasn't going to even mention it, but now I am. Because I went and I got credentialed to go to that trial. I'm not going, and because I can't bring any benefit, but I wanted to, and I really, and I mean this, I'm not trying to be self-effacing or some bullshit like that. I don't want to go there just to be gawking at the assholes. I would only go to something like that if there was value I could bring. Now, the reason I bring this up is because there are very, very specific orders. And there's orders. Let me see if I can find these in my Google Drive, and then we can talk about them. But there's very clear orders on dissemination of that 911 call. Now, I've seen some, you can excerpt it. Right? Oh, that's true. She also sketched it, but she share it. So hang on a second. Molly Colleen is saying that she also sketched some girls' bodies. Sure. But so the difference, I think, Molly Colleen, is that was still a public trial. I mean, it wasn't, in my opinion, because everybody was kept out. But there's a very specific order. And let me pull it up, because that's the kind of shit. Jesus Christ. Hang on a second. Ugh. That is the kind of shit that oh no. Let me see. So there's a property review tomorrow. And it has guidelines for that. And I mean, I think this is public filing. Let me see what the other ones are. And actually I can probably, Jesus Christ. Fucking, you know what? Get the hell out of here. Get out. I need confirmation on that she has a transcript. Like, look, I know that thing is out there, but if you're sitting your butt in the courtroom and you've agreed to what is required, look, man, here's the deal. When you get credentialed, you have to go through the Supreme Judicial Council. It sounds a lot more whoop-de-doo than it is, but basically you're signing, yeah, I'm going to obey everything that the state of or the Commonwealth requires of me. Jesus Christ. I mean, and you got Jess Machado out here acting like a total horse's ass. These people, I swear to God, fuck me. So, let me see. There's a public order that, oh my God, I'm showing my fucking email. Jesus Christ. That's terrible. Let me see. Thank God it's my Gmail throwaway account. So you got a lot of Zillows in Des Moines Register. Hang on. Let me see. Let me see if I can pull this up. Where's my Google Drive? Please stand by. Oh, here we go. Did it come up? Of course not. When I want it to come up, it won't come up. She made it. That's still not good. That's still not right. Yeah, you can't do that. Hang on. I don't think she can. Hang on. Please stand by. View property owners, supplemental protocol. That's not it. There's a supplemental protocol, and this is all public. It's just an order. Let's see about who's going to be minding the scene, because there is a, there is an actual site view tomorrow. Let me see if I can't. Let me remove this. She talked about it last night. Is that right? She made, let me see. Let me just make sure all my goddamn windows are closed and you guys don't get all of my Zillow alerts. Did I download those and save them? Sorry, this is even more on the fly than I was expecting. Let's see. In the meantime, she says in her life she wrote it out as best she could. Sure. Okay. I mean, okay. God. So she, there's no value. There is no value in that, in my opinion, unless you want to unless you want to invoke a strong response in your viewer. Jesus Christ. She wrote it out as best she could, sure. Was she even there? Because we know that there were days when she said she was in Delphi and she wasn't actually there. Was she there? Ugh. Right. Deanne's, yeah. I'd love to know if she did a Trisha accidental recording, right? Oh, Boston Magazine. Oh, hang on. Let me look. Was it Boston Magazine on Twitter? Lobsters? Let me see. We can get to the bottom of this then. Stand by. Anyway, so when I sign for my credentials, and like everybody else, you have to go by what the jurisdiction mandates, and the jurisdiction mandates X, Y, and Z, and that's compliance with what the court orders. You jerks. Fuck. We wrote out the transcript as best we could, watched the courtroom the best we could. Ugh. Oh, God. Okay, hang on a second. Oh, shit. Let's see. Hidden true crime, right? Somebody's doing this. Ah, Machado. Oh, my God. Due to health-related issues. Okay, lady. Machado wasn't there because what? Okay, hang on. I'm trying to find Boston Magazine on X. Boston Magazine. Okay. We'll check. What? So the Boston Magazine lady was beside herself. Oh, about that. Wait, I'm sorry. I'm confused. About the transcript or about the audio in court? So lobsters, I'm sorry. When I heard Jess talking about someone. Oh, I see. Well, I mean, and was this woman actually, I mean, here's what I got to say. was the woman actually from Boston Magazine? Because as we know, she claimed that, you know, everybody at GMA thinks that she's the bee's knees, and it's actually whatever. She makes a lot of claims. So I don't believe shit that comes out of Machado's mouth. But so, you know, this is the problem with people like Jessica Machado, who is not a journalist. She's not. She got paid by the Republican Party to write some bullshit, and then she hitched her wagon to Turtle Boy, then shat all over him after tweeting about people's clothing at the Reid trial. And then Lauren Matthias is not a journalist. She was a TV presenter. She does like to distribute things. So let me go through the chat a little bit. Mom Jeans. Hi. Wait, huh? Who's on the Real News? Oh, on the Real News. Right. Amanda. Right. On the Real News. Okay. All right. Bacon. I love bacon. So let's see what everybody's saying. And then I don't think I have anything else that I want to really talk about. I just kind of dumped everything here. I am going to have to go back and look at the actual order from the court, because there is specific order in the court that was then reiterated after some idiots in the hallway were filming, or they were filming. What am I, your grandmother? When they were taking video, and it's very clear. No, not on the premises. Can't do it. If you're going to do something, go out to your parking lot, whatever. But there's some idiots out there doing that shit. And that's the kind of thing that threatens to get everybody kicked out of the courtroom. And again, look, it was a court order about something very specific. Idiots. Yes, Mom Jeans, she does. She likes to distribute things. HMS says that's so unethical. She's trying to scoop everyone for her dramatic coverage. Well, she sucks. I mean, she sucks. The first words out of her mouth in one of her lives, and I can't watch it because she makes me insane, crazy insane, was that I've never, basically, she said, you know, I've never felt the way I had in the courtroom, or my reaction was X, Y, and Z. This isn't about you. This isn't about you, lady. This is not about you. Yeah, goddamn nincompoop. So she immediately centered on herself. This is how I felt. Really? You did? Who cares? Who cares how you felt? We all know the case, right? We know that there's 3 children. We know there's, you know, possibly the postpartum psychosis. We know, you horrible troll. You trauma vulture. And you're talking about bringing your husband, who now I've been able to establish is working with his lawyer on response to a robust, that's my word, but it's very robust complaint about all the fuckery that he's been doing. Y'all need to stop. Like, seriously, this is insane. I mean, I know YouTube is like the Wild West and whatever, but then go be that. Just go be that then. Go somewhere else and be that. Do not stand on your credentials. Sick. Oh, God. This is why people hate journalists. This is why people believe that the news or the media are the enemy. In part, people like this. I mean, shit, man, the politicians foment hate against us all the goddamn time, but I'll be damned. Hi, Kim. I don't think I've ever seen you. Hello. Welcome aboard. Didn't they say no distributing of the 911 call? Anyway, the Huh? She played who played the dispatch call? Oh my God. I mean, I don't know. I think that the court order about the court order was about streaming, but there was orders about the way that it could be utilized from there. So there's a pool camera that is run by, is it Law and Crime or is it, I think it's Law and Crime this time. So they're the pool, I believe. And so you can work through them, but but the 911 call exists in the world. So I don't think that playing it, I think that streaming it, but I do believe that there were some caveats about how it, like some of the issues and the details. And I got to tell you, that was on the request of the father, I believe. I think that was actually on the request of I don't know. I don't know a lot about the Lindsay Clancy trial. I just threw my hat in the ring in case, I don't know, I could bring value, or also, just keep an eye on some of the shit going on behind the scenes, because they do let press know when somebody has run afoul of all the things. And that's why they sent that sternly worded, it wasn't sternly worded. It was basically like, stop with the bullshit. You know what the rules are. Stop recording in the hallways. But, nobody needs you there, Lauren. Nobody. And I wish the gems would figure that out. I really do. I really do. Let me see. What are you guys saying? I mean, we have Carolyn. Hi, welcome. I don't know if I've seen you or not. Lauren probably typed up the transcript for, maybe. I mean, you can do that. It does exist. I believe that Slee Stack Nancy Grace played it, but why? Recording in the courtroom is banned, intervisions, but there is a pool camera, and there's a very specific order about transmission of the 911 call during the trial. And I cannot remember about the transcription of it. Now, because it exists in the world, it probably doesn't make a shit spit of difference. But I don't know. Why would you want to know all of that? You know what? Oh my God, you guys. Okay. All right. I know why she wants it. I know why she wants it, to give it to her dumb husband. Thoughts? I don't know. Spitballing. Let me see. PC could still be called. Isn't that interfering with trial to do that? I don't think so. I think that no. No, I don't think it's interfering. HMS Gen X lady. I think it is running afoul of the order, potentially. Bethy Boop says, remember Lauren literally running after juries? Yeah, Nate was too. Scumbags. I mean, look, I get it, I guess. I mean, I guess I don't. That's not the kind of shit that I've done in my life. It's just not. The shit that I've done in my life takes a long ass time and a lot of investigation, and it has typically been print, which is why I think that you can tell that my presentation skills are a little lacking. I'm moving to the other room and you guys are coming with me. Oh my God, my butt sitting. Okay. But yeah. Let's see what else we got here. What else you guys saying? What else you guys saying? I feel like I'm missing out on my own chat. Okay, let's see. Does anybody have questions? Here, so where she talks about it. Okay. Let me, you know what? I got it now. I'm not able to find anything. There's not really anything on, let's see. Oh, wait. Let's see. Hilarious. God. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to look for something that would show if there's anything chastising her. Penny, how'd you get a hold of it? I mean, it does exist, Penny, out in the world. It is a public record, you know, for better or worse. All of those things are public record. And like I said, I don't know for sure, so I shouldn't say. I'll say it. I think Nancy Grace played it because she's a fucking sleaze stack. Who is STS? Sorry, HMS. What did STS get kicked out for? Was that the person who was recording in the hallway? And see, the thing is, again, so I think that Deanne 14 High is trying, is she trying to get help cameras get banned in the courtroom? Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, look, she wants to capture an audience, doesn't she? But I think that the way that the order reads is that it's during the trial, which is why the live stream went silent. Yeah, that was very distinctly excluded. So I don't know about the transcript situation. I really don't. But I do think here's what I will say. I think it's a terrible look to be in the, here's Lauren, come here, sweetie Petey, come here. I'm going to tell you something. Mama's going to tell you something because you never learned how to do journalism. You could be at home with your son. Okay. You could be home with him right now doing whatever fuckery you're doing from there. You're not value add. We can all watch it online. If you're going to go in there and then expressly say, I was in the courtroom to hear the gut wrench, to beat my chest about how much, let's see what this bitch said. Hang on a second. Fuck this shit. Sorry. Not sorry. I am so, ugh. I didn't want to look at this. Oh my God. And her thumbnails. Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Heard the 9. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We're doing this. Sorry. This is what we're doing. We're doing it now because I cannot. You horrible garbage creature. You're a garbage creature, in my opinion, based on everything I have seen about you. Also, knowing what Christina and my other corroborating sources who are very close to the subject, very close, corroborated your bullshit that you're now whatever. I don't know if he's felonious at this point, but your lawyer, I've never seen, when I was speaking to one of the corroborators of this, I said, I've never seen this in all my days. The litigious nature of these assholes. Jesus Christ. Amongst journalists? I'm sorry, no. That's why, Jess Machado, you can lick the totality of my ass, lady. Get out of here. Jesus. That's why you don't go, because you're not equipped. You don't know how to not do the things wrong. And this is wrong. And I'm going to share it because she's pissing me off. Strike it if you'd like to, Grayson. Go ahead. I don't give a shit. I'm going back to school soon. I'm just like so pissed. We take such a beating. Or one of the reasons that I was like, I gotta get out of this business. I gotta get out of this business, was not just because it had become few and far between and the work was so whatever, the kind of work I did, but it's because of is abject fuckery like this old bat, these two. Okay. Oh my God. Absolutely disgusting. Yes, you are, ma'am. I just heard the 911 call. Okay. You know what? We're going to watch this. And I'm going to go I'm going to have to. Stop. Here's the thing, Lauren, again, get in here. Let's have a little confab, shall we? You fucking stop it with the glasses. Also.
Buds in. So I don't know if that's going to work well. I'm going to take those out.
Baby. I'm just a, oops, shit. There we go.
Right.
Here we go.
Can everybody hear?
Yeah. No, I'm looking at the lunch live.
Hello. Live from the courtroom.
Okay.
Welcome to live chat.
Here's
sure
the
people
thing.
Are here. I can't quite.
Nobody gives a shit. Okay. This is the thing that pisses me off. Who cares? We can all watch it from our living rooms. You cosplaying nincompoop. Knock it. Get out of here. You guys have shit going on. But, Jess Machado's out here running around saying that when you come on back, they're going to go out for dinner. And I'm like, go do it. Do it, lady. I love that for you. Because this one right here, this one's dangerous. Jess Machado is laughable and disgusting, and she's a bigot. This one's dangerous. Because she'll take everything. And we know it because we've seen it in the courtroom. We've seen it with victims' families, you horrible vulture. You are not a journalist. I wish there were a licensure board. I wish there were. But then it wouldn't be the fourth estate, would it? Then we wouldn't all get to do it. Nobody cares that you're live from the courtroom. Yeah, thank you, Hypnotizes Lobsters. This one, but the title of this, I'm live with Lauren. I'm doing my lunch. I just heard the call. And there's like her stern little face with her stupid glasses. Fuck directly off. Jesus, get out. Let somebody else do this. Let somebody else who has the ethics to not blast something. I just got out of the courtroom and man, I heard the most disturbing thing ever. These people, sick. Follow whoever the fuck you want. But you know what, bitch? You came and shat in my backyard when you sent me a DM asking me to help you protect your little boy because you didn't redact his fucking name from the goddamn trial transcripts that you brought against Christina in a vexatious way, in my opinion. Get hit. No. Sorry. See you later. Exits. Okay. They're here. Okay. Suck all of my dick. Okay. Please. Ick. Here she is. Just come running out of here I am at my lunch lives. This is what all of her dum-dums turn in for. I shouldn't say that. Some of you are ex-gems. What is it that people feel she adds to this situation? Because this is not the trial you sling up at to cause fuckery at. This isn't a circus sideshow. None of them are. But this one, the balls.
I see anybody yet in the chat.
Who cares? Get it going. Let's go,
Okay,
lady.
well, I'm going to tell you.
Okay, here we go.
What I saw in the courtroom. I was hoping to actually maybe take some.
Go on.
There we are. There's the chat. So I'm happy to take some questions too, because I think there's a lot of questions and a lot of rumors swirling around about Patrick Clancy's 911 call from the.
Okay. Really? What are they? What rumors? What is she talking about? What is she talking about? I've not heard any rumors. Bitch, it's been out. Right? Am I making that up? Hasn't this call been out in the zeitgeist for a long time? I mean, hang on. 911. God. It's not bad enough that people have to, oh my God. Hang on. Let me see if some idiot played it. Like I said, I think Nancy Grace did. Yep, sure she did. You bet. She sure did. Nancy Grace did 2 days ago. That's what we're dealing with here. This one. And Nancy Grace is nothing if not a shitbag. Wow. So it's out there. So what rumors have been flying around, Lauren? What incredible knowledge base are you going to bring to bear here? Is it going to be like you were in the Richard Allen trial, letting your husband just fall flat on his face? Again, look, even adjudicated murderers can file lawsuits against people who misrepresented, especially when your husband was diagnosing him, which is why there's a complaint that you should be home helping file. Okay, file a response to. So scuttle, back to your little whatever. This is, and you know what? This is not stalking. It's not. You've put your entire life and everybody else's life, your families, Christina, Ballet Flats, Colby, and you should, Kresha, Kay, the things that you did to those people, you and your husband, you should, oh my God. I wish that there was some sort of shame. You know, the shame that John's always like pontificating about? You know, that shame? I wish they had a modicum of it. Like, I don't know what the damage is here, folks. I really don't know what the damage is. What rumors? I've heard none. I've seen none. Hang on. No, it says listen. Here's the chilling 911 dispatch audio. Yep. That's what it says, that she played it. Premeditated crime stories. I don't even want to click on any of these because I don't want to run the risk of having it play. Jesus Christ. Okay, hang on a second. I mean, it's never been released. It's not out there. Mom interrupted us saying, then what the hell is Nancy Grace banging on about? Oh, I'm not clicking on anything. No. How do we know the call? I mean, there are 2 audios. Okay. All right. I see what you're saying. So there's 2 different audios. Dispatch, and one is more direct. Okay. So Nancy Grace played something. So I'm not going to do it now, but I will I'll go check the timestamp. My God, I'll take one for the team. From this one's live last night and see what she says. And then I will go refer to the packet that I got from the Supreme Judicial Council, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and my press credentials to see what is and is not allowed. And the additional addendums to that, because people are screwing around. So I don't know. I've not heard any rumors about it, but again, I'm not up the ass of this trial either. Let's see. Great. I can't. So this is going to be rough. Ugh, I can't.
The courtroom this morning. I am in Plymouth, Massachusetts.
Go home.
I'm in the car, our rental car right outside of the Plymouth County Courthouse.
Are you?
I heard the 911 call inside the court.
I want to tell you something funny about the time. Does anybody remember, any Delphi people here remember when she did a lunch live from her car? And she was really specific about being there. Now, listen, I'm assuming that she's there, but man, when she was in Delphi, she went and did a lunch live. And Delphi folks will remind me, sitting in her car, she's like, live, here's my lunch live from Delphi. Yeah, right. Oh, yes. And she was in her driveway. Liars. Yes, she was at home. Yes. Hello. Yes, absolutely. Dan, yes. Ancient Teapot. Yuck. Yeah. Jamie, yes. Free Rick Allen. Yes. Hello. Yes, she did. She was sitting in her driveway. Do not listen to these idiots. That's another thing. Minor point. But Jess Machado was talking about getting lanyards printed up, like she needed laminates or some other shit for her for the trial. I've not seen any of that in my packet. I just have to show here's my document that's signed. And she's like, people were running around trying to get lanyards. I'm like, what? And that is also not in the follow-up email. These people, look, the Commonwealth is nothing if not aggressive with its notifications to its press pools. Lanyards? Huh? I don't know. The trial is horrific enough. What is going on that you have to drape yourself in the artifice of some sort of victim yourself? You horrible. Ooh, yuck. Gross. God damn it. Where have you been? Boobs. Delphi. Picture it. This lady, she was at home. Here, she's claiming the Patrick Clancy trial. Here's her lunch live. I'm not doing the glasses thing again. I've done this with her before. I've run through my drawer of glasses. Stop copying me. I thought it was cute at first, but I'm getting concerned about my eyeglass welfare. Okay? I'm going to need you to stop copying me. I know you don't have a personality of your own, but don't absorb mine. You so badly at that. Okay. No, you look ridiculous. Also, by the way, if those are somehow part of a, are these like, is this like a sponsor? Is there her eyeglasses sponsored? Because if she's not disclosing that, because I thought maybe they're, because didn't John get a fancy new pair for Chris Cuomo, limited public figure? I'm like, do they have some sort of deal? And if so, did they disclose it? Because if they do have a deal allegedly, and they didn't disclose it, the alleged deal, that's a violation of terms of service. I don't know. Everything's on the table. She looks like Milhouse, but Milhouse CH is just so much more thoughtful. Yes. Oh my God. Hypnotizes the lobsters. She's ruining glasses for everyone. Yes. Justice for glasses. I have worn them since I was in the 4th grade. And some of you have seen the photo, and I'm not going to bring it up again, but shit. Lord. So mom jeans coming in with, pardon me, Getting fired up. Says, because releasing raw audio of father's distress and explicit images of deceased children, severe psychological harm, courts often exercise discretion. Yeah, and I actually think that there was, thank you, Mom Jeans, and I think there actually was, I think there actually was a motion by the father to preclude some of this stuff. I mean, and I think even the Commonwealth just plowed ahead, which is like not a good look. Oh, see Mom Jean's previous. Wait, huh? Oh, does he? Aspen was cruising around Bob's chat the other day. I'm like, warning, danger. Oh, so Turtle Boy's weighed in. Okay. Made a comment about Lauren didn't cover Karen Reed. She'll cover this because she's a disgusting. Yep. Wasn't disgusting enough. Did I get Lauren's But the funny thing is, Sarah, I actually have MS, and that's not, that's in my experience, that has not been a problem. This is me just screaming. But no, girl. Huh? He said he was, oh, okay. What? Bob. Bob, come closer, sweetie, because I know you're going to be at the trial. Bob doesn't watch me, so that's fine. I'll confide in you, chat. Look, here's the thing. Aspen is ass deep in the fuckery with the murder shits of it all in the Richard Allen trial. Right? Okay. Bob, I know you don't like to, I don't know if he's terrifying. I think I could take him. But whatever. Let's see.
Courtroom. It is the saddest call I've ever heard in my entire life.
Thank God. Okay, here we go. Who would have guessed that it was the saddest call? Anybody? Nope, perfect. I see my pause game is on point. Who would have thought that that was actually the most joyous call? Yeah, so CH, yeah. So the transcript, right? But again, why CH says reporters and sorry, somebody left me oh, Bob brought just Aspen up in the comments on the reg. I can't, I won't, I shan't. Yeah. Subtext. Somebody, Cameron's doing such a great job. Somebody talk to Allie. Somebody get on the horn with Allie. Yeah, my pause game. What the hell was I talking about? She's a dumbass. Yes. Yeah, so textually doing a lot of work. Yep. Oh, I see. Bob is friends with it. Oh, I had to block her. Okay, so Judge Sullivan, Mom Jean's coming in hot. Thank you so much. In his written order, yeah, strictly prohibited members of the press from recording, displaying. Oh, okay. This could be. I'm gonna have to go look at my. This is, yeah, subtext that. Yep. Yeah. I don't know. Sorry. I'm getting, derailed. So let's try to get through this idiot. But it's the saddest call she's ever heard. No shit. Really? I mean, if you know what, this is actually an interesting question you bring up, Intervisions, because if she's a member of the public, if she didn't get a credential, let me think about this. If she did not, well, I don't know if that was I think it was overall, but I don't know if you can bar the public on something like that. I really don't, because it is a public trial. But I do think that during the course of the trial, I don't know. I'm going to have to go back and look at the actual order that came through. Does she actually? Because if she's not, I guess my point is to finish my thought, which would be a first. If she signed what I had to sign, agreeing to abide by all this, that could be a problem. I don't know what the text would mean, but I don't know. If she's showing up just as a private individual, I don't know how that applies. Members of the press are professional journalists. Yes. Yep, they sure are. But in Massachusetts, in the Commonwealth, you have to register. So there's no restrictions. You can be a citizen journalist, what I'm talking about, and everybody can do that, But if you got credentialed and signed that little piece of paper that you were going to abide by the court rules, you have to abide by the court rules. And I don't know if she did or not. I have no idea if she got credentials or is just there as a trial tourist. Could be. Maybe that's why because even Jess Machado is registered. I looked it up. I think I don't know if they put the names of people registered for every trial, but I think she was registered certainly for Karen Reed and like all the Aiden Carney stuff, the civil trial, which again, Lauren, and I think Penny's doing another live stream tonight. So of that 9-hour live, which I cannot bring it down, where she talks about damn it. We heard her say one sentence so far. I can't. I know. I'm sorry. Look, lobsters. I know this is I'm providing a public service. Like speaker lanyard. Yeah, I don't know. She's a podcaster. Well, what am I? I mean, I don't have credentials, but I am. So Mom Jeans, I have credentials. You just have to apply and you have to show that you have, if you want to be a part of the official press pool. So like, for example, you might get information before others that is, I can't think. I've been looking into dissertation stuff. So I'm mixing up my journalism and my other shit, but, damn it. It's not redacted. What's the word when it's released previously for the press, but it's held? Why can I not think of that? Embargoed. Sometimes you'll get embargoed, whatever. You'll get embargoed information. So it's kind of a sieve to sort through people who are, and it's not mainstream, right? What am I doing? I'm out here, like I said, I'm not really doing the journalist stuff anymore, except because now apparently that's what I'm doing. But I don't have an established outlet. I have a buttload of credentials from publishing, but let's see. Okay. So anyway, yeah, let's try to get through this because I can't. Ugh. All right.
Life. I'm clearly not alone. Many people in the jury were crying. The person next to me was crying. Lindsay herself was sobbing. Her parents were crying.
Was that Grayson that was next to you?
Patrick was not there. Jurors were crying.
Patrick, here's something to throw in. Legal. Anybody seeing this play out on the live feed would know that the judge dismissed Mr. Clancy and all these other folks because it's so disturbing. Okay. And yet you have a transcript, you gremlin ghoul. And you were, it's the most distressing call you've ever heard. Really? Because when you were sitting in bed, rocking back and forth to your 12-year-old assistant, that was like you were devastated over something else, weren't you? You were so scared. You were so stricken. You were worried about your son. You were worried about all these other things. Blurry blurred. Save it. Fucking get out of here.
I've heard that the pool photographer with Long Crime Report TV was crying. My cough remains.
Okay. Who cares? Get a goddamn Ricola. Get out of here, weirdo. Fuck off.
Thanks for your patience.
Take care of yourself, Lauren. I can hear it in the chat. Oh. Ugh.
I honestly just had to process a lot. I'm glad I had a little bit of time. We've been on lunch for a little bit, but I just wanted to take some time to share what I heard in there, to share what it was like in there. And just so you know, Patrick came back on the stand right away this morning. Again, we'll have a bigger, longer, more detailed update tonight live on YouTube as well as on our podcast after.
You want to know my theory about Aspen Connor roaming the law tubes of it all? Is that he's going and collecting information for this idiot. I don't know. So she can have some sort of analysis. I would be interested in the transcripts. I have nothing to base that on except gut and that family photo of all those fools at CrimeCon. But could be. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know.
Or live, if you prefer podcasts. So we'll be live on YouTube later tonight with everything.
Right.
But Patrick gets back on the stand, and he's, people ask, does he look at Lindsay when he walks in? He doesn't. Patrick looks straight ahead, like he knows why he's there. He goes straight to the stand, and
oh my God. You know what? We can see. They even panned to the audience, you dimwit.
you can tell he's just trying to hold it together. They're going through everything that happened up until the moment he finds Lindsay, to the moment he gets on the phone with 911.
Everybody just stream. Just stream it. If you must, stream it. You don't need this gargoyle. Just stream it, man. Intervisions, are you a journalist? I mean, maybe you are. I don't know, but I'm just telling you what anyway, what I'm saying is that if Lauren went through whatever, I got to get through this.
One, to the moment he goes down to the basement, finds his children.
Oh, look who's here. Stand by. Look who we have here. Looking good, Lauren. Today has to be impossibly hard. It's Aspen Connor. Let's do a screenshot. Okay. Now. Yeah. Making the rounds. Look. They're getting the band back together. Fuck off, Aspen, you gross weirdo.
Stoic, but you can tell he's holding it together.
Yeah, we see.
Essentially,
we can see
he gets
it
through it all, answering all of the prosecution's questions.
Sure.
And at that moment, there's a sidebar right when he's kind of done, but before he's off.
We all saw it. I'm anxiously anticipating whatever the hell it is that you're going to bring to this conversation. Okay. This has 75,000 views. Why is that? How is it I can't get 3,000 followers? And this bitch can have some, whatever. Look, I got to stop calling her that name. Ma'am. Oh my God. Chelsea, hi. It's a long time no see. Yeah, she is Yellow Snow journalist. Yellow Snow. I mean, she's insufferable. We saw all of this. You know what? I'm going to start doing lunch lives from the comfort of my own home after streaming it like everybody else can. Huh? Yeah, sending out love. Sending out a lot of love. This has got to be impossibly hard for you. Really? Do you think it was hard for the father? Do you think it was hard for the father who brought the motion to preclude that audio from being transmitted, that she now has a hand scribbled transcript of? I've missed you, Chelsea. I haven't seen you for so long. It's a driveway. Oh my God, the cranks, we're back. This is where the worlds truly collide. I mean, and cranks, are you seated? Bob Ruff is platforming the murder sheet. I'm not even touching it. Okay. Yeah. What did Sarah nail? Sarah smile. Yeah, that girl. The experience, the story in every situation. Okay. I mean, here's another thing. Tell me you have not been an actual journalist in a courtroom. Because whoopity-doo. There's no, we don't need your color commentary. We don't need your color commentary. You bring no value. I mean, I know your gems love you, and that's great. Yes, Bugs. You have to take it offline. We'll have to talk about it later. That's, yes. Sorry. I'm not doing very well at reading the chat, but that's because I'm very dry. Vapid. Oh my God. Yes, let's draw. Look, if you have, I don't have a Lauren emoji. If you're a member, I actually made memojis. If you have a toodle toot, don't drop her right now. Well, you can. You can always drop a toodle toot, but drop your Dr. John or your Kate. Kate, like and subscribe. Okay. Let me get to 3,000 just cause. Why not? Who's it gonna hurt? Yes. Oh my God. She is Intervision's that girl you wish you hadn't started a conversation with at a party. Yeah. Yep. She's like, oh my God, are we getting married? Okay. Are we getting married? Oh, ooh, all right. Me next 12 coming in with a John. Thank you. Thank you. We got a John. Free Toots. Oh no. Toots is deep in a drawer, Aileen. Aileen Lee. Sorry. She's in a drawer and she's been a bit of a bear today. So we're leaving her well be. Yeah, she definitely is coming in hot with that lady. You do not want to, especially if you're a dude, because you know she's like, oh my God, I think that guy just proposed to me. Get out of here, weirdo.
Off the stand. And they're mentioning that there's going to be a 911 call and there's a sidebar and the white noise goes on so that they
Oh, well, okay. I can't. When do we get to something?
court records, pieces of this call. We know about this call. But to hear it, first off, I'll say this. Patrick isn't just strong and stoic on the stand. He is when he discovers his wife and calls 911. And we learn more about how he found her and how he had looked for.
Yes. Yeah. You know what? Print journalists were there and they put that shit out. So whoever that GMA person was, like she works for ABC, I think, that whatever. They do this readout. Okay. I mean, this is a grift. This is trying to pick up grift. I don't know. This is her trying to perpetrate a grift with another set of victims. So, yes. So Grizzly is right. I've realized she retells it like it's a ghost story around a campfire. Yeah. She does. Nailed it. This is a good one. Hang on a second. Let me get a screenshot of this one. I kept it together for longer than I usually do on these things. I kept it together for the upfront of this because we had serious business to discuss. This is just pure blech. I'm not going to go through the rest of this. Nobody cares. The point is that I think that I wanted to make with this idiot is that, let's see. The thumbnail was something. Let's see. I heard, look at this. I heard Patrick Clancy live with Lauren. Oh, let's see what they're, I was just talking about this today. Dynamic duo, John Matthias, Oh, so now he's a forensics, I don't know, I can't keep up, but I guess we'll find out, won't we? I see. I've never seen this before. We're a true crime news channel working to ensure the public gets the most factual information on the latest crimes. Ma'am, get home so you can help your husband with that response that is due. He's gotten an extension. So I don't know what was keeping him from responding to the complaint. Okay. Somebody confided in me that thing that I found in the public, it's a thing. Go on. Scoot, scoot, scoot. Get out. Publicly available information, professional experience. Oh my God, and personal opinion. Look, all right. My point was this. This cow, and I mean that in like the UK sense, this cow, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. Sit, have a seat, have all the seats. All right, whatever. Oh, it's like, oh my God. Just look, I don't want to hear one word out of John Matthias's mouth about this trial. I don't. And I think that, maybe he should just sit this one out because he's got a lot of shit going on. He's got a, robust, my word, complaint out there that he should be responding to. Gross. It would be great if, people knew more about this, right? Yeah, they did hire Bill Cosby. I mean, everybody deserves defense. Everybody deserves due process, even John. If he goes forward with the proceeding, he has engaged counsel. Yeah, he should really keep his mouth shut on this one. Maybe just keep your mouth shut in general for a while. Now they're a news channel. I guess. Yep. So I'm going to get out of here though, because I'm like boiling alive. It's the pause. It's the menopause. Welcome to Menopause Central. I'm going to go back and timestamp this because it wasn't meant to be a total yard sale, but they inevitably turn out to be yard sales. And like I said, whatever. I'm just cheesed off, y'all. I'm going to go back and look at the actual, I'm sorry I didn't get through the comments. I was just really trying to focus on, at the upfront, the making sure that I was correct on what I was quoting from, because I care, unlike Lauren. But yeah, I'm very tired now. Almost there. Are you? Are you already in perimenopause, bugs? Look. Get yourself a lot of soy. Okay. Over 500 trials. Yeah, we went through that a little bit. I'm on the other. I'm just like burning alive. Did she really say this? What? Oh, okay. Look. Okay, I can't. Oh boy. Oh man. Yeah, it is. It's not clinical counseling though. It's family it's family counseling or something like that. It's not even clinical. He didn't take a clinical psychology. Yeah, it's not clinical. Unless he's met the standard in Nevada, which I can't find evidence of because you have to take additional coursework and stuff, but I don't know. Sorry I'm late. Girl, I'm just ending. Christina Mack, I just reiterated that I was able to corroborate that she, in fact, did try to make that stupid deal with you. We just went through. Yes, thank you again. And for all the people with the tornado, look, growing up as a Midwestern kid, there were 3 things I was terrified of my age. There were 3 things I was terrified of. Oh my God, my face is already turning. Oh, 3 things I was scared of. Bigfoot, because I lived in the middle of a cornfield, watched a lot of programs on TV. Nuclear war, and tornadoes. So those were the big 3. So I think about, I think about derechos, all that stuff. So I absolutely get it. And I think about, I think about people, I think about people in the Midwest, and my family's still out there, not in Wisconsin, but, yeah. So yeah, as a young kid, love your journalism. Well, this was journalism that got me very worked up, very hot. All about your journalism skills. Oh, damn it. Dr. Macy. I miss you. But anyway, you can see I'm on fire. I got to get out of here. But yeah, I'll go back, put timestamps in. Whatever. Like the stream, I guess. Thanks. If you liked it, let's just help spread the word about situations that are concerning. But anyway, I do appreciate everybody being here and living through all of this malarkey with me. I do yes, I do. You got hot the other day. Well, this is actually a hot flash. My entire back is on fire. So welcome. Welcome to the fun. Yeah. So just like it, maybe share. Teamwork makes a dream work. And I think you guys are, I always say that I hate you the least. And I mean it. I mean it. I hate people. Overall, thank you, mods, today. With CH always here with the throwing links. It's nice to have the citing of bugs and subtext, but all the law I cited to is in the description of this. And I'm going to go back and follow up on a couple things that we talked about here today and just pull the media stuff from the Clancy trial that I've received through my whatever. And I only bring that up because I can check that stuff now. I'm not going to the trial. I just got it in case there was some situation to see what was going on. I know that seems really odd to say, but that's just let me live. So media credentials plus the newest orders about the House view tomorrow to make sure that I know what's expected of the media so I can keep an eye on these idiots. And then some more about the complaint, which I termed robust, but that was based on my leafing through the information I was provided by an actual human. And no, nobody needs to know who that person was because I protect sources. Okay. And then the other thing, what was the other thing I was going to do? Timestamps, Christina. I don't know. I guess that's it. Oh yeah. And I think, whatever. Suck it, y'all. I'm like,